All right, this is going to be the one take video. It's my first ever cooking video, and this is dedicated to CM, the girl who reminds me of Mother Mary, who asked for a recipe, but I don't do recipes. So I'm going to make a video. And let's begin the way we should begin everything. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Next, pour yourself a glass of red wine. I always prefer red wine because it's more honest. White wine isn't even white. So they've already lied to you. You haven't even opened the bottle. Just to give you an idea of the size of a wine glass, that should be about 12 fluid ounces. All right, let's cook something. All right, the next thing you want to do, you want to look at the ingredients. There. That's what ingredients look like. Okay. And then, and under ideal conditions, you have, you went and got your own shrimp out of the Gulf, and you dug your own crawfish out of the ditch. But in reality, you buy what you can. You hope it's made here and whatnot. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna make it with. And the first thing you do is you make a roux. So you get yourself. Can you see that? Yeah. Get yourself a giant frying pan, cast iron, and a whisk. I like this one. And you make a roux. Alright, you get your Irish butter. Don't bother with the unsalted. Like, what are you doing? It's butter. Get the salted butter. I love the Kerrygold. Sometimes the Kerrygold doesn't love me, but I love the Kerrygold. I go with it. Irish people know how to make butter. Alright, I'm going to make a roux. If you don't, maybe you don't know how to make a roux. I'll cut back somewhere in the roux. Alright? So don't put the heat too high, but don't put it too low either. You're going to be sitting there all day. So I'm going to go with start it with medium. I'm going to melt my Kerrygold. I probably would have made the pasta first, but in this case, my father-in-law is not home. My wife is working, my father-in-law is at church. I went to church, but I went to the Spanish. He doesn't go to the Spanish. So I kind of have a window of opportunity to sneak my Chinese crawfish into the recipe without getting yelled at. So anyway, if I can get that package opened and mixed in here before getting yelled at, then I'm going to do it. Okay. I'm just going to melt the butter. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Get some flour. How much flour? I don't know. Just some flour. I don't know. A quarter cup. You don't need much. Don't need much of a roux. Because, just going to over-thicken this massive ton of sauce. So I'm just going to make like an Alfredo. I'm going to make, it's too bright, isn't it? There. I'm going to make an Alfredo sauce. So you can look it up if there are recipes for all over the internet. All right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, the other reason, oh, I can already smell it. The other reason to prefer the cast iron pan is that it's solid, right? There's nothing like, there's no rivets over here. If you got a pan that has rivets, you're gonna end up bouncing the thing off it, and you gotta keep it moving, or you're gonna burn your flour. So there's more than one reason to prefer a cast iron pan. All right, I got a quarter cup of flour there. Maybe I should have more flour. I don't know. Again, I just think if you make it, if you make it too much roux, then you're gonna have to thin it out, and we really don't want it that overly thin, because we want the sauce to kind of infiltrate the lasagna. All right, so I'm basically just melting the butter. I'm gonna thin the butter out a little bit. Some olive oil. Some, I don't know. Again, some. I don't know how much that was. And but I like to have plenty of a juice in my roux, because the worst thing you put the flour in and then it's dry, and then you're dealing with the thing as it's trying to burn. All right, so butter, butter is not the high heat thing like a peanut oil or something. All right, so that's my electrical stove. That's my flour. You can hear that? Hear it? Oh yeah. All right, but you don't want to burn the butter either. Okay. So you gotta be careful. If you make a low heat roux, and you'll be here all day, you make a high heat roux with butter, and you'll have burned butter. So we don't want that either. Anyway. So the only other thing, I assume you know how to make roux, but I don't want to assume like people know how to make a roux, and everybody knows how to make a roux. We're in Louisiana. So basically just you add the flour. And the only other secret to that is you add the flour a little bit at a time. That's it. So you don't dump the flour, and then you got to sprinkle it on and move it with your favorite whisk. You just kind of keep moving that and whisking it around. And basically, you just want to brown it. You kind of want to brown it a little bit. Oh, dude, what's his name? Jelson Wilson. Woo! Oh, y'all. All right, you don't need to see it. Anyway, this goes on for minutes and minutes until it's brown. Whatever. Just keep doing this till it's brown. You like the color. All right, I gotta go. All right. So what I did is I took the pan off the heat because I forgot to shred the mozzarella. This is my video, not your video. Look at him. Look at him. Look at you. Cisco, I'm making a video. Quiet. Sit. Good boy. All right. You're a good boy. Daddy loves you. Even though you interrupt this video. All right. Little cameo there. Quick cameo. It's my fault. My fault. I said the word cheese. All right. So anyway, I took it off the heat, but I still got to move it around because the pan's still hot. And I don't want to go shred my mozzarella and come back and find a mess. So there it is. All right. All right, let's get some cheese. Why'd you buy 2 packages? Well, some of it might disappear, right, buddy? For we might not make it into the lasagna. Good boy. All right. All right. So anyway, you know how to shred cheese, I hope. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'll come back. There, I'm back. I just put it back on the heat. I took a half a block of that cheese, and I grated it. And I got approximately about a cup. Yeah, it's a cup of what? Let's see, cup a cup of milk, just regular whole milk. I don't do skim milk, but you don't have to do like any kind of special milk with this or cream or heavy cream because it's got so much fat in it. It's pure fat, 100% butter, 100% regular mozzarella cheese. It's got, in other words, you don't need to look for ways to put more milk fat in this. And, it's not a diet item. I don't do diet, but you don't have to like go crazy. And like I said, I want the sauce. I want it to be thin. I want it to be a little bit thin, and that's gonna be hard to do with a roux anyway, with all this cheese and everything. And it's gonna want to thicken up. So a cup of milk. I don't know. Maybe a cup isn't enough. Sip of wine. Red. I know what you're thinking. No, Mr. Ladd, they call it white wine because it comes from white grapes. Yeah, exactly. You see the web of lies? White grapes aren't white either. You go down that road of deception, you get lost. So just don't go there. Alright. Oh, look what I found. It's like a thing of bacon grease from yesterday's bacon. Where'd that come from? Let's keep that right there next to the stove. Speaking of diets, it's wonderful. You just add a little bit of that. Never throw away that. Nice bacon fat. Delicious. It'll save you sometimes. It will rescue your meal. Alright, see, this is still a lot of butter there. Alright, so what am I doing with the roux? The roux is basically just to get a certain consistency to the sauce, and so the ingredients blend together. That's all it is. I don't need a dark roux for this. It's going to be a white sauce. I don't need a dark roux. But a lot of people don't know, you don't want to eat raw, you don't want raw flour. So just kind of cook the flour a little bit. Just give it a white toast. It's hard to tell the color because you got the butter, and the butter will get brown. So you think it's the flour that's brown, and it might be the butter. The other thing I like to do, I discovered, is whole wheat. You put whole wheat flour in there, and to make a roux with whole wheat flour, it gives it a nice little flavor. I'm not a whole wheat person. I don't eat muesli for breakfast or whatever. So, but I do like fruit. And whole wheat that's fruit. Has a little more flavor to it. I don't want whole wheat on my tuna melt, so that's just weird, right? But I do want peanut butter and jelly. I want my bunny bread. Alright, that's enough. Alright, that's enough. Now, do I put the milk in first, or do I put the cheese in first? That's a very good question. I'm so glad that somebody asked that question. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit, just for a second, just so that I'm not doing battle with it. I'm going to add the cheese first and see what happens. Okay. Oh yeah, because you want to melt the cheese. Basically, that's what it is. Okay. So I'm going to take it right off the heat because I don't want to too grossly fry the thing. All right. There we go. But I do want the cheese to kind of get melty a little bit. Yeah. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's cheese. This is so gross, but you're gonna see it. Oh yeah, I gotta point it so you can see it. All right, so it's totally disgusting. You would never eat that. You wouldn't serve it to your worst enemy. But look how it's melting. All right, so the action of the rooks is trying to do battle with the. Oh yeah, see that? That's what makes it good. This is why it's delicious. It's totally gross. Look at that. You would never even serve that to your worst enemy. Okay, and now we're going to add some milk to it. Now it's kind of melty, right? Anyway, try it the other way. And you do it you. You do you. And I'll do me. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Just kind of add that and we start whisking the milk in. And that's going to provide a little vehicle for our cheese to melt into and become one with. Yeah. I think I'm crazy, but you've tasted this, so you know it's worth it. Kind of under the gun because of the whole bothering around with church thing. And whoa, what happened? So that's definitely one cup of milk was not enough cups of milk with that. So I'm going to get another cup of milk. And I'm going to pour that on, carefully measure that. And see what happens. I'm just going to keep going until I get somewhat goopy. All right. Anyway, I'll be back when it's. I'll keep fooling around with it until I get it right, and then I'll come back and say, "See how perfect everything is." All right, here we go. All right, continuación. So you have between 1 and 6 cups of milk there, just so it's like a kind of a mushy, creamy, cheesy, but liquid, and it's all blended together. So I want to keep the heat on so the cheese doesn't, cheese stays melty. But I don't really want to cook it anymore. It's fine. Anyway, just so you can see the consistency of it and whatnot. I probably should have looked up a recipe on what I was doing and just reviewed that. Just because, I don't always remember what I did the last time I did it. And I don't like to eat the same thing all the time. Can't remember the last time I made this, but it might have been when I made it that time and brought it in. Anyway, so that's gonna sit there, and I'm gonna go to work on the shrimp. I didn't put shrimp in the last time. I think I just put crawfish in there, but this time I'm gonna put shrimp. So I'm gonna go to work on that. You just fry it, just fry it up. It only takes a second. Then I'm gonna toss that in to the sauce. All right, so you put a little olive oil in the pan. I love these ceramical pans. The ceramic coating on them make them non-stick. They're very non-stick. But we put oil anyway because that's what we do. Alrighty. Shrimps. I'll go get some shrimp from the paddle my Piro out to the Gulf. Get some shrimps. Alright, I'm draining the liquid out of it. What came in the bag when it melted. I might not want to do that. I might want to leave it on there for extra flavor, but that's me. But I don't want to mess this up, so I'm feeling like very, very nervous. I don't want to mess this up. I'm under a lot of pressure right now. All right, so I'm going to carefully add these to the pan. Oh, this kind of pan, you don't want to use a regular metal spatula. And there's a reason you don't want to use a metal spatula. Because you get yelled at. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. All right. I'm going to add that on there. This will only take a minute. I'm going to add the crawfish meat. it's somewhat cooked already. And this thing is going to bake in the oven for a long time. So, you know, you don't really have to cook them to that level of burnt them or whatever. Because, you know, why? Alright, so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put a little more heat under my cheesy mixture here. Just so it doesn't get sour or something. Alright, and anyway, and I'll be back. Alright, so the shrimp are pretty well cooked. I don't feel the need to overcook them. If I overcook them right now, there's no going back. So it's gonna be like little hockey pucks floating around in there. And anyway, so just cook them decently high heat, medium high, until they turn solid. You know, they're kind of gray, translucent almost. And when they get to be shrimpy looking, take them out, switch pans. Careful not to scratch your wife. Whoa! Do not pick that up because you're on doing a cooking show. Otherwise, you could have picked it up. This cheesy mixture has been on a very low heat over there just so it doesn't solidify. And I'm going to start adding this in. Oh, yeah. Alright, what did I add for salt, pepper? Nothing. There's literally zero of anything right now. Cheese is a salty item. Butter is a salty item. So you don't really need like, just don't scratch your wife's pan. Okay, no metal on the pan. Whew. A lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the whisk. And we're going to get a slotty spoon or something over there. Or even a not so slotty spoon. And just mix it this way. Alright. So the shrimp are cooked. The crawfish are cooked. If they're somehow not cooked, they're going to cook when you bake it together. But I just don't like to put a lot of raw ingredients. I like to have everything cooked for safety reasons and whatnot. So anyway, just enough. You see how it's liquidy like that? Because you kind of want it to be. And theoretically, I'm thinking I'm supposed to put, turn that heat way down. You're supposed to put like mozzarella cheese and, grated Parmesan cheese into your, all right, here I am, going right in there. Okay. Parmesan cheese right in your Alfredo, and you melt it in there, but we're not really doing Alfredo. It's kind of an Alfredo. All right. One more thing. The secret ingredient. You ready? Oh yes, that's right. Okay. So this is basically just has to melt in there. God bless it. Okay. When in doubt, just like get some of this and just eat it. It's like you eat it right out of the package. It's like cookie dough, you know? It just makes everything better. Alright. So, is it Paul Blart? Is that what it is? Paul Blart Mall Cop. Put a little peanut butter on it, and it fills the spaces in your heart. God bless him. My alter ego. Okay. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So that's just going to melt in there. And, alright, so now you know all the secret ingredients. There it is. Okay. It's Kind of let that melt in there. Oh my goodness. Another sip of the red wine. Carbonated. Alright. This Philadelphia cream cheese probably has salt in it too. There it is. Contains milk, salt, etc. Yeah, so definitely already has the salt. Da, 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 da. Hey, Google, play Mambo Italiano. Are you listening? You're supposed to be listening 24 hours a day. Your big brother. All right, hey, Google. Hey, Google. Play When the Moon Hits Your Eye.
That's Amore by Dean Martin. Sure. Playing on Spotify.
Hey Google, increase volume by 25%. It's your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Alright, so that's mixing in there, it just has to melt, and I'm going to walk away. Alright, we'll leave it alone, we'll let it melt. Alright, now maybe I should have put that in earlier, I don't know. Alright, this is the other thing I'm going to do, kind of on the nutty side, is I'm going to make my own pasta. Because that's amore. It's just what it is. Alright, if you don't know how to make pasta, stay tuned. Alright, so I realize the video is going on and on, but, you know, it's not fast food. You want fast food, go to McDonald's. Alright, so I got a half a cup, measuring cup. Put half a cup of whole wheat, all-purpose flour. I'm going to do another one, all-purpose. Just regular flour. Okay? Now, the way you make pasta, semolina. Okay? You make semolina. But, what we're doing is, it's not a pasta, you're going to sit there and eat the pasta. Alioli, yeah, alright, you need to make semolina. Okay? This one, not so critical. Because it's all going to be, the flavors are all going to be hidden in there, mixed around. Alright, so I did half a cup of semolina. I'm going to do half a cup of whole wheat. And this is a whole wheat pastry. And again, it gives a little extra interest to the pasta when you do that. I'm going to go check on the sauce. All right. See, you see the floaty. See, this is what happens when you add things in the wrong order. So I'm sure I should have added the cream cheese earlier before I overly thinned the cheesy roux sauce, because now it's got little floaty things in there, which for this it doesn't matter. It's all going to melt. It's all going to go to the same place. But if you're going to serve that on a plate with spaghetti or something like that, it's just not as pretty. All right, I haven't tasted this yet. Somehow I've managed to not just dive into this, start swimming around with the shrimpsy wimpsies. Anyway, but it's fine. And it's sitting there on just a very low heat, and nice kind of very thin consistency to it. And we'll get back to the pasta. All right, so pasta. It's flour, salt, and egg. That's it. Those are the ingredients. All right, I'm gonna hit on pause. All right, that was 2 cups of flour according to my calculations, and so I'm gonna add some salt to that. That much. Is that too much? I don't know. Okay, and I'm gonna go get some eggs. All right, you know what? Let's go get some eggs. Da 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 da. It's amore when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore. Ooh, you see that squirrel up in the tree there? I built that box for squirrels, and I've never seen a squirrel go in and out of it. So this would be our lucky day if that happened. That's right. I build tree houses for squirrels. Hey, ladies. You got anything for me? I'm making pasta. I meant ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. I meant to say ladies and gentlemen. Go lay an egg. All right. Let's see. See if we got anything. And the eggs. Da da da. When the. Whoa, hey. That's how you get an egg. Look at that tiny little thing. But they're just. Ooh, look an egg. Ah, we got a green one and a brown one. That's what we got. All right. So that's what's fresh. Back to the kitchen. All right. So how many eggs do you. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on the size of the eggs. Those chickens, the one that laid those eggs are 5 months old. They lay little baby eggs. So this is like an egg from the store, and it's not extra large, but it's larger than those. And then this is see, the color is different too. So, put it over. There we go. Okay. See how it's darker? This one's darker, and that's from Cuckoo Moran. They lay very dark. And this is from an olive egger because, you know, I don't have to tell you why. Okay. All right, so I added 4 eggs to get it started. And you see that the eggs are, you know, not 4 extra large, but 4 should be a good number to get us started mixing this pasta. And I just want to show you the eggs. You can tell which one. There's 3 homegrown eggs and 1 store-bought egg. I'm going to show you. Can you guess which one is the store-bought egg? All right. If you can't, you know, stay in the city. Too dry. I need to add an egg. So I'm going to add an egg. All right, and now it's too wet. It's sticky. It's too wet. So more flour. All right, all I did was add a very little couple of handfuls of flour. When I say handfuls, like not even a handful, right? There's a little dusting, a couple of dustings of flour to get that dough to the point where, you know, you can touch it and it won't stick to your hand. So anyway, you don't really have to knead it and everything. I don't know. Probably if you watch a video, it says knead it for 20 minutes. I'm not going to do it. I've never. Who cares? It's fine. All right. This, you got to get your Imperia, made in Italy, pasta roller. It's supposed to connect to the surface that you can tighten it on and connect it. But some people are dumb and they don't know their own strength, and they keep turning that screw until it snaps off in their hand. So anyway, I create my own purgatory. All right, how do I show? I don't have anybody to hold the the camera, so I gotta do this. This is already 2 hands. But you just take a piece. Is this? I don't even know what I'm. Yeah. Okay. I don't know which camera is it, front or back. So you just take a piece, whatever, it doesn't matter, and put a little flour on it so it doesn't stick in the machine. Right? And just. All right. And you put it on the widest setting. And you feed that through. Having created your own purgatory, you gotta hold the machine as it rolls around. Now, the first time it goes through, then it's just getting kind of a shape to it, kind of flattening it out. So then I do thirds, and then I dust it a little bit more. Lots of flour, and then I put it through. And it starts making these sheets. All right. So I go down to number 5 on it. This is 6 settings on this. I go down to number 5. 6 is the thinnest, and it's sometimes it can be too thin. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep doing that. You'll probably skip this step. You'll probably buy the macaroni, the noodles in the store. All right, bye. So we've got this like Formica kitchen table, which I absolutely love. So, you know, make fun of Formica if you want, but Formica is it's a space age material, okay? And I love it because you can scrub it, you can put bleach on, you can do anything you want, but make sure you clean it real good. Whatever surface you're going to use to lay out your pasta, if you do go the pasta route, I recommend it. It's amazing. Homemade pasta is like nothing else. So if you don't know how to make pasta, you don't know, it's so easy. Literally flour, egg, and salt. And anyway, clean it real good. Then you dust it with flour and you lay your pasta out. Back in a flash. There, I made the pasta. All right. My father-in-law just got home, so my luck is running out. This is what I got. I got a whole thing of ricotta cheese, the 32 ounce. I've got about 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and I'm just putting the Italian spices on it. This is a really nice one. I like it. Not that expensive. And so I'm going to mix that up. You can go with the eggs or not the eggs. I'm going to put the eggs this time. Put a couple eggs in there. You have to make sure you get the whole lasagna hot, good and hot. I'm not cooking the noodles either. I'm not cooking that pasta. The pasta goes in fresh, and this is going to have raw eggs, and that has raw eggs. So you got to really cook it. Make sure you get it up nice and hot. Internal temperature or whatever, enough to cook those eggs. Other than that, I'm going to put it together, and I'll see how much more filming I can get done with the peanut gallery heckling me the whole time. Just saying. All right. All right, he's going. All I've been doing is layering the pasta. So the first thing I put a little bit of olive oil and spread that around the bottom layer, and then I put the noodle. On top of the noodle, I put the ricotta cheese, and then another layer of the lasagna noodles, and then the seafood mixture, the sauce, and then noodles, and then I did mozzarella cheese, about the half a block of mozzarella cheese. Did that. This is like a lasagna pan, they call it. So half a block with about 1 layer shredded, and then just keep going in that order. So I did ricotta, the seafood mixture, and then mozzarella. Now I'm ready for the mozzarella mixture, and you just keep going until you run out of ingredients. What else? Oh yeah, and Tony's, because I haven't been adding really anything spice-wise, you know, like salt, pepper. So I just, product placement, Tony Chachere's. Just makes everything better. It's just so good. All right, gotta go. All right, so this is what I did. I put the olive oil, noodle, ricotta, noodle, seafood, noodle, mozzarella, noodle, seafood, noodle, ricotta. So it's like every other layer is the seafood. And the other thing I did was I did go down to number 6 because I'm always worried I'm going to run out of the noodles. So I went down to number 6. It's very thin, but you know, it's so good. But now I have a little extra noodle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that through and make myself a little pasta for lunch. Maybe have another glass of red wine or Coke, you know. What else? All right. Hey, if you make this, you have to say grace before meals, like every time you make it. All right. Bon appetit. Enjoy. Merry Christmas. Stay in touch. What was left over? I made alio. Very, very simple. So delicious. Stay tuned for coming attractions.